Lighting in any space is more efficient when it's designed for specific tasks and uses in mind. Garage lighting is no exception. Depending upon the primary intended usage of your garage space, task lighting may be preferable to generalized overhead lighting or vice versa. We're about to get more options on our lighting in a garage from Alex Murray with Ken's Electric. And Alex, thanks for joining us. Let's first talk about how our intended use for our garage space can really determine our choices for our lighting.
Yeah, I guess you just need to keep in mind basically what you're going to do in your garage when you're trying to design your lighting. There can be so many different uses for a garage. You can be using it for storing stuff. You can be using it for specific tasks. So you need to make sure that you're lighting those tasks correctly. There is usually, a need for just general lighting, but there's also a specific need too.
Let's talk about some of the basics when we think about fixtures in a garage. We just don't want to throw bulbs up, right?
Like this fixture, for example, this would be what we call an LED strip light. It's basically, there's no bulbs in here. It's all LED diodes, and this is kind of the middle of the road, I would say, light that we use. Very common, puts out a lot of light. You can adjust your color. Basically, you can kind of tailor it to what you need.
It's great to hear LED in terms of our lighting for our garages.
Yep, yeah. We've kind of went to all LED fixtures for the most part, unless there's a specific request for something different for some reason. But LEDs are very user-friendly. They're very efficient, and they have a really wide temperature range. So basically, versus them old school fluorescent fixtures where you came on and you had to wait 5 minutes for the lights to get warm up, these don't do that.
Do I need to be concerned about temperatures in regarding to my lighting?
Yeah, a little bit, yes. You need to decide whether you're going to heat and cool the garage. If it's climate controlled, then maybe you can kind of have a little bit wider variety of fixture you can choose from. If it's not climate controlled, you may want to stick to just those LEDs, just because they do go down to that colder temperature. You come in the middle of winter and you flip your garage lights on, you want them to come on every time.
All right, what about I want to use my garage, wash cars, vehicles, how does that play?
Yeah, this fixture here is actually kind of the same version as this LED strip here. This is an LED strip light, but it's fully encased, so this is just a vapor type fixture here. Basically, you could use a garage stall in your garage for a wash bay. You can get this thing covered in mud. You could just go there with a hose and hose it right off and never have to worry about it. You could have it on and running the whole time. So.
What about, I've got my existing lighting in the garage, but I know it's old and dated. What are my options there?
Yeah, so that's actually what we have here in this fixture. This would be what we call a high bay fixture. That's kind of getting towards your higher end. This fixture here was originally a fluorescent fixture, and we retrofit it to an LED. We can actually do that for a lot cheaper than what you can actually go out and buy new fixtures for. You may be up in that $400 or $500 range to buy a brand new fixture when you have a perfectly good fluorescent one sitting there. You just want it to be LED. We can come in for a fraction of the cost, do a little bit of rewiring and change the tubes out, and there you still have that same good fixture.
Well, Alex, talk to us also about, okay, how do I be more energy efficient and friendly with my energy usage here in terms of timers, monitors, and that?
Yeah, and actually I have a couple examples of those here too. Here's just an in-wall timer. We use these a lot for controlling a lot of outdoor lighting, specifically the timers, because you can have your lights come on, say you want them to come on at night when it gets dark out, and you want them to shut off at 10 o'clock at night, and they're not sitting on all night long. This will do that for you. You can program it for whatever you want. You don't have to worry about making sure you shut that light switch off before you go to bed. We also have another option. It'd just be a photo sensor. All this does is it just cares about when it's dark outside. It turns those lights on. They're on all night long until it gets light in the morning. Once again, you don't have to forget to shut them off during the day. This is basically what this is. We call it a wall pack. This would be something that if you had say a little bit larger garage, you had a big garage door and a big cement patio out in front of it, you may want to light that patio up at night. This will do a great job. It's made for area lighting. Not so much accent lighting, but more just lighting up a large space. And that can be controlled by any of those controls that I talked about before. There is other options, on outdoor lighting. You can have a lot of times you see garages that have, a lot of accent lighting. They're lighting it up just to make it look nice, and that's great. But you need to decide how you're going to control that lighting. You need to make sure that it's getting turned off during the day to be energy efficient.
planning really comes in terms of when you think about my usage in my garage and specific tasks that I want to have, whether I've got a work desk or a bench or something that I'm, where I want to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, that's kind of where you want to call us. We can come in and we can see that, you're building a garage, you're kind of, you have a big undertaking there, and you may not think about the specific things that you're going to be doing. Where we come in and we're pretty used to, seeing different layouts, different things that people do. You might tell me, hey, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to store cars in here. I don't plan on doing anything. In that case, I'm going to say, go with your general lighting, just something that gets you by so you can see what you're doing there. You may tell me, hey, I'm a mechanic. I'm working in the front of this car all the time. I need a lot of lighting right there. So we may actually put specific fixtures in just to light that area. Or like you said, we have a lot of customers that will have a workbench in a specific area of the garage. We'll put specific task lighting there, or maybe we'll even put in a couple extra outlets so they can plug their own extra lighting in,
Alex, kind of ballpark, I imagine we can go from inexpensive to great expense here, but give us a little on in terms of our
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can go from anything, we call it a keyless lamp holder. You may have seen, in old basements, you just screw the bulb into it. You can go from something like that with an LED bulb in it that you can pick up for a couple bucks, or you can go all the way up to, like I said, those high bay fixtures, a new one where you might be $400 or $500 range for, a simple high bay. But there again, that all plays into what makes sense for what you're doing. If you got a big farm garage and you're working on machinery all the time and stuff and you need it lit up, you better have the light to do what you got to do. So.
Well, Alex, you've really given us some great insight and some options, and very enlightening for us. Alex, thank you for sharing that with us. And you'd like more energy efficient options for your garage lighting, visit PowerHouseTV.com.
John Travolta's garage is large enough to house a Gulfstream jet, a Boeing 707, and has enough parking space for up to 15 of his favorite cars.